Next to the stage, President of Paula White Ministries and the National Faith Advisory Board, Pastor Paula White Cain.
Good morning, and thank you to our co-chairs, Ambassador Brownback and Dr. Sweat. And thank you to every advocate, diplomat, survivor, faith and belief leader gathered here today at the Washington Hilton. I'm so grateful for the work you do. It's an honor to be with you for the 6th Annual International Religious Freedom Summit, an event that is remarkably, in a short time, has become the premier civil society gathering for this essential cause. And I am very honored to stand with you not only in this moment, but from a lifetime of commitment to this cause. I've spent decades advocating for people of faith and belief around the world, and I've been blessed to go to approximately 140 countries to travel, seeing firsthand both the beauty of worship and the cost that many people pay simply to live according to their conscience. Recently, I was appointed as senior advisor to President Trump for the White House Faith Office, where our number one priority is religious liberty. Yes, both domestically, but as we have seen, internationally and globally, because conscious rights are foundational to all human dignity. They're rights given by God, not government. And thankfully, our founders knew that and enshrined it in our inalienable rights in our Constitution. One of the things that I deeply respect about the summit is its spirit in a world that can feel increasingly divided. You've built something that is truly different, not simply bipartisan, but genuinely nonpartisan. A place where people can come together with the sincere desire to defend the conscious rights of everyone, everywhere, all the time. And that brings us to the moral center of why we are here today. The right we defend is not a privilege granted by powerful. It is a fundamental human right that we all are fighting for, recognized in Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states, everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. That's not a small statement. It's a world-shaping one. Because when you and I protect freedom of religion or belief, you're protecting more than just a worship service or sacred space. You're protecting the human person. The right to hold convictions without coercion, to live with integrity, to speak and gather peacefully, to raise children with moral formation, and to contribute to society without fear. And we must say it plainly. Across the globe, that right is under assault. When we as an administration and as ministers and people of faith see governments that once lifted religious freedom now are deciding what is a pseudo religion, we see communities facing persecution and repression, the Uyghurs and Tibetans under severe pressure in China, Christians brutally targeted in Nigeria, Baha'i, and other religious minorities suffering discrimination and harassment in Iran and Yemen, atheists and dissenters living under the threat of theocracies, and Jewish communities facing hostility and danger across parts of the Middle East. These are examples, but the list is far longer, as we well know, and far longer than any one speech or presentation can carry. And that is why this summit really matters, because the world must have a coalition that refuses to look away. And I want to add a few things personally. I've recently been involved at the highest level with Nigeria and the DRC region and many other places within the world. But that's not a beginning for me. I've worked in Nigeria from the 80s, and I'm so honored and grateful to see these matters elevated to the highest level. The DRC, there's been approximately 5.4 million to, they say, up to 11 excess deaths in the DRC conflict zones, as we well know, making it one of the, if not the largest death toll of Christians in human hands in history. But I am grateful and honored, and thankfully Rwanda, DRC are committed to making peace. And I hope we can see that in every nation around the world with leaders and people everywhere. We must help stop the killings and protect the vulnerable communities, because behind every headline is a family, a village, a pastor, a priest, a monk, a child. So what do we do practically and courageously together in conclusion? First, we must be clear-eyed. Governments that imprison the faithful, restrict worship, and criminalize conversion, weaponize blasphemy laws, or allow mob violence to go unpunished must be challenged consistently and publicly until they honor the fundamental right. Second, we must defend religious freedom as an all-or-nothing principle. This is not about protecting only my community or your community. If religious freedom is only defended when it is convenient, then it's not religious liberty and freedom at all. The test of our integrity is whether we will defend the rights of those whose beliefs differ from our own. Third, we must keep reminding the world of what experience shows. When freedom of religion or belief is honored for all, societies become stronger, more prosperous, more resilient, and more stable. It strengthens civil society. It reduces conflict. It increases trust, and it helps nations flourish. I've seen this work up close. During the 45th administration, I had the privilege of working with Secretary Pompeo and Ambassador Brownback as the United States elevated global religious freedom efforts, helping advance the ministerial to advance religious freedom and building stronger international cooperation to defend people persecuted for their faith, working on the Abraham Accords. And today, I continue this work, engaging directly with President Trump, the National Security Council, the United States Department of State, Secretary Rubio, and all the many others, organizations like IRF that every day are fighting for these freedoms because the stakes are too high for sporadic attention. We must bring an end to the atrocities that are happening around the globe. Now let me speak for a moment to the advocates and leaders in this room as I get ready to leave. Your work is not abstract. It's not theoretical. It has a name and a face. It looks like the prisoner of conscience you cannot forget, or the hostages that you've sat with after their release of 400-something days, or you work diligently, tirelessly, day and night, fighting for a father or a mother because of the abandonment of that child. It looks like the mother who's terrified to teach her children to pray. It looks like the worshiper who wonders if gathering peacefully will cost their job or their life. It looks like the refugee who fled because their faith or non-faith made them a target. When we defend religious liberty, we defend human dignity. And here's the hope that I believe this summit carries to the world. We're not powerless. Civil society is not powerless. Diplomacy is not powerless. And truth is not powerless. When leaders decide that persecution will bring consequences, when institutions shine a light on abuses, When coalitions advocate across lines that normally divide us, change happens and transformation will take place. So let the summit do what it was created to do. Bring together an extraordinary coalition representing dozens of faith traditions in a shared effort to advance religious freedom from around the globe, so that our unity becomes a message that the world cannot ignore. Religious is not a side issue. It is the cornerstone. Thank you for your tireless work. God bless you.